gantry at Cape Kennedy, the assembly of the 3 solid motors to the Thor booster means the day of launching is near. Atop the second stage, Early Bird is perched inside the protective nose fairing. And as launch date approached, a special press conference was held. The questions of correspondents from around the world reflected the interest of their vast international audiences. All launch operations are being handled by an experienced NASA Douglas team. NASA's Scientific Satellite Tracking Network, with operations headquarters at Greenbelt, Maryland, will monitor Early Bird during the brief period of powered flight. All data will be direct lined to ComSat Control Center in Washington, D.C. All decisions will be made from here. Command and control instructions will be sent to the Andover Earth Station for transmission to the spacecraft. And now, it is only minutes till launch, and counting. A closed-circuit TV line makes it possible for an audience of international leaders and news media reporters to have close-up views of events as they happen. Vice President Humphrey is a special guest of honor. And now, it is 10 seconds, and counting. The camera following the flight path caught a most unusual shot. As the bright comet-like tail turns slightly redder, the 3 solid motors will fall away. As the first stage engine thrusts the vehicle into distance and the night, all phases of injection into orbit have been carefully programmed. After burnout, the first stage separates. 10 seconds later, the protective nose fairing is jettisoned. The second stage engine burns and is cut off at exactly 5 minutes, 14.5 seconds after launch. Now, the vehicle will coast for about 22 minutes. During the first 4 minutes of that time, it will execute required pitch and yaw maneuvers. Then, at the precise moment planned, the vehicle is spun up, and the third stage engine is ignited and allowed to burn for 22.5 seconds to inject the spacecraft into orbit. When the third stage separates, Early Bird, spinning at 152 revolutions per minute, is alone in space in an elongated elliptical orbit, with its perigee relatively close to Earth and its apogee some 22,000 miles out. This is only a temporary or transfer orbit, which will be refined into its designated synchronous equatorial orbit. To accomplish that, ComSat Central Control has to determine the exact present orbit, prepare antenna pointing information, and determine the orientation of Early Bird's spin axis. When these computations are completed, checked and rechecked,
Roger, Andover.
they send the reorientation and velocity correction instructions to the Andover tracking station to transmit the necessary commands to the spacecraft.
On my mark, we will execute. We'll give a 10-second countdown. 10, 9, 8.
As Early Bird approaches apogee for the 6th time, its spin axis is now corrected in the proper direction. The spacecraft's apogee motor is fired. Early Bird is thrust into its synchronous equatorial orbit. It will still take several days before it is finally stopped in its small, stationary place in space, and with its attitude adjusted so that the antenna is in a position of direct line of sight for the Earth stations in North America and Europe.